We're going to talk about the basics of statistical analysis. So really the basics. Talking mean, median, mode, range, and outlier. So I'm sure we've all heard these before. The mean is simply the average. What the average is the sum of all of the numbers divided by the number of numbers that we have. Right? So the sigma is the symbol for sum. So all we need to do to find the mean is we take the data that we're given, 60, 80, 75, 95, and 10, and add them up. 60 plus 80 plus 75 plus 95 plus 10. When we add them up, we get the sum is equal to 320. We then need to divide by the number of data that we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. We're going to take 320, divide by 5. When we take 320, divide by 5, we find that the average of these 5 data is 64. That's the average. The median is the middle number when the numbers are arranged from smallest to largest. So that piece is important. The numbers must be arranged in order from smallest to largest. I'm going to clear some room on the paper. So we need to take our numbers and put them in order from smallest to largest. So 10 is the smallest. Then we have 60, 75, 80, and 95. And simply to find the middle number, we're going to locate the number in the middle. Here, with only 5 numbers, it's not that difficult, but we can cross a number off here, cross a number, cross a number, cross a number. Our middle number is 75, which means our median is 75. So here, with an odd number of data, it was relatively easy to find the median. So I want to show you what happens if we have an even number of data. So say we have the numbers 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, and 35. I just picked any numbers and just to show you that now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sets of data. So if we find the median, taking one from each end, we say, uh-oh, we have 2 middle numbers and we can't have 2 medians. So what we need to do is find the average of the 2 middle numbers. So remember, average or the mean, we add the 2 numbers up and we divide by the number of numbers that we have. So we find that our median is actually 22.5. And it's okay that our median is 22.5 even though it doesn't appear in our data set, because we had to find the number that fell smack dab in the middle between 20 and 25. So mean, we add all of the numbers up, divide by however many numbers we have. The median is the middle number when the data is arranged in order from smallest to largest. If we have an even number of data, we must take the middle number or the average of the 2 middle numbers to get that middle number. The mode is the number that appears most often. Some data sets can have more than one mode. Some data sets don't have to have any mode. In our case of our original numbers, 60, 80, 75, 95, and 10, we don't have a mode. Nothing repeated. If we had the number set 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, here our mode will be 4 and 6 because both of these numbers are repeated twice. If we had the data set 4, 4, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7, our mode is simply 4 because it is the number that appears most often. Range tells us how spread out our data is. So to calculate range, we take our largest data and we subtract our smallest. And we actually do the calculation. So as we look at our original data set, 60, 80, 75, 95, and 10, we're going to take our largest number, which is 95. We're going to subtract our smaller number, 10, and we find that our range is 85. So this data set is pretty spread out. An outlier is, we kind of think of it as an outcast. So if you go to a party or a middle school dance and there is somebody who is just kind of hanging out by themselves, we think of them, they're the outlier. They're not really following the crowd. So if we look at the data that we originally had and we plot it on a number line, you think, well, I could say 95 is approximately here, and we have 80. 75 is pretty close. We have 60, and then 10 is all the way down here. So we notice that we have a good grouping of numbers up here. 60, 75, 80, and 95 are pretty close together. 10 is relatively far away. That makes 10 our outlier. So if we wanted to define outlier, we could say a number that's significantly different than the others, a number that's much further away. And very interesting, what we start to see when we talk more about statistics is outliers really affect our data. So on your own, just to see what happens, I'd like you to find, now that we know what the mean and the median are with the set of data as it is, take that outlier out and find out what happens to our mean and our median.